Hello, Blue Shirt here. I'm here today to talk to you about a stock lock by GEGE. I think it's called GEGE. I've heard other people pronounce GEGE. I'm going to call it GEGE. But this is a 6-pin lock with the famous GEGE serrated pins in it. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I had a terrible time getting this damn thing open. And I couldn't understand why. I spent about a week on and off playing with it, trying to get it open. Finally, I decided to take it apart and broke down finally and just did progressive pinning because I just couldn't get it open. Didn't understand why. The tolerances in these locks are incredible. I have picked probably 10 challenge locks in this format that have been so much easier than the stock lock. Uh, it it has really tight tolerances, and you can see the over milling right here in all of the chambers except for one, the first one. Um, and if we look a little closer in 3 at resting position, you barely even have to touch that guy because it'll just overset. And that's what I was having trouble with when I progressively pinned it. I found out that I just put the last 2 pins in, and wow, I was oversetting the lock. I was oversetting number 5 actually. It's really easy to do. This lock takes light tension, and you must pay attention to jiggle testing and understand what it feels like to have a set pin in this particular lock. I was not doing that or didn't know how. Regardless, I wasn't doing it correctly, obviously. Um, Here's a little bit more about what it looks like inside. And these are the famous serrated pins from GEGE. Surprisingly, the second pin is a standard, which was I had trouble understanding that how to get that one set as well because it was just so different than the serrated pins. This last one, and I'll switch to another screenshot here. It's not standard. It's not a standard pin. It has. I'll show when I open it up later after I pick it. But it has a little like a taper on the end of it, but it's not all the way around. The whole thing doesn't have a taper all the way around, just on like 2 sides of it. And it's not actually round. And the kicker is the Bible is actually, the holes for the Bible, the chambers are actually bigger than the plug. So this particular pin never fits all the way down into the plug. It just rests in that overmilling right there. Good example of that would be here. If you look at that, well, it's kind of hard to tell, but I assure you, it's just sitting right there in that milling. It won't go any further down, even though this shot has the key pins in there, and you can see how far down the 6th key pin is. But the driver doesn't drop all the way down. So the key for me was understanding what a set pin is for this lock and a set pin on different types of drivers. And very important was light tension. This is so different than ASA barrels. Most ASA locks, you got to crank on the tension to feel what's going on and to actually get them out of the milling and gens and barrels as well. Not so much on this one. You don't need tons of, or at least I didn't need tons of tension, just kind of light tension. It's always subjective when you talk about tension, but yeah, go with light tension. And if you have to, do like I did and progressive pin it, figure out what it feels like to have a set pin, and you'll get it when you do that. Excuse me. Anyway, enough about this. Let's put it in the vise, pick it, and we'll take it apart and talk about it a little bit more. Thank you. Loose shirt with you. GEGE in the vise, 6-pin. That just took forever. Oh, so let me talk through that just for a minute. I'm so sorry I didn't talk through the pick. That was my intention, but I've attempted this multiple times and haven't gotten anywhere. Basically what I did in this particular lock, the first thing that needs to happen is this pin here, and I'll talk about this during the introduction, but the 6th pin is an oversized driver that sits in the milling of the plug. It needs to come up. That's absolutely the first thing that has to happen. Nothing else binds until that happens. I touched 5 and 4, and then went to the front for the first one. The first one, there's no milling in that part, that chamber. There is milling in 2 through 6, but there is a GEGE. There is a GEGE driver in the first chamber, so it has to come up a bit and start binding, and then it's really hard to jiggle test that. For me, anyway, the first pin is always tough for me. After that, I went back and revisited 6, 5, and 4. I used a combination of medium to light tension most of the time. This particular pin, because it doesn't have any milling, I used a heavier tension on number 1, and I revisited 2 at the end to get the open. It's got standard pins in it. There's no GEGE, although the milling does have a serration. I mean a counter mill, overmill. Sorry. The 3rd pin is basically a 0 lift. I mean, if I touch it at all, that's all I do is touch it, because it just will overset if you touch it too much. So that's it for that. I'm gonna go ahead and gut it, and we'll look at the pins a little closer. Lock it up because it's easier to get that clip off the back. It's become easier to get that dude off there now. Had it apart many times. This is an infuriating little lock. So much respect for it though. Alright, you don't need to shim it. Tolerances are just great, and it's not a challenge lock. So all the pins are going to be standard key pins. And what do I do with it? There it is. So you'll notice that this first chamber is not milled, but 2 through 6 are. I really wanted to talk through the whole pick, but honestly, I had many attempts here, and well, I was just getting tired. Okay. Just a fantastic little lock. I picked a bunch of these that are challenge locks, and I'm telling you what, some of them were really hard, but to me all of them were easier than picking just a stock one. Okay, so that one's I'm out of frame almost. That's a standard. The first one was a serrated. Third one is a little bitty serrated. Four. Oh no. While I'm sitting on it. Just a really fine driver. Another serrated. And here's the kicker. So you can see some thinning at the ends, like tapers, but it's not all the way around. And when I look at it, it doesn't look completely round. I don't know if that comes through on camera for you or not. But you can see the thinner part right here, but then as it comes over, it's not like that. It's not thin like that. And the point is that in number 6, see, it will not go down in the plug. So it sits in that milling just below it, and you have to go multiple times. It's a taper effect to pull it up. So, what do I have to say about the GEGE? Fantastic locks. To pick them, I mean, what is this? It's a green or a blue belt lock, and it just took forever. Fantastic. You'll have to just spend time if you're anything like me, and it always depends on the lock you're dealing with as well. Sometimes you might get one that's just a little easier. Maybe this one was just a bitch. Medium to light tension most of the time. Jiggle test. You gotta be able to jiggle test to get these things open. I didn't pick this one on camera, but this was another one from Lady Locks. I got 3 of them from her to learn how to pick them better. And I got this one open fairly quick. It's a 5-pin. Didn't film it, but I also have a pExtra that I believe I'll film and try to do a tutorial on that too. Hopefully I can talk more through it so you can hear what I have to say. But I'm getting long-winded again because it's already like 15 minutes on this part of it. So I'll shut up and just appreciate you hanging around. And you guys have a great day. See ya.